Hello guys, welcome again to my YouTube channel. This is me, Victoria, and today we are having a very beautiful conversation on childhood trauma. And today I have a guest who also happens to be a friend of mine, and I'll let her introduce herself before we start the big conversation. But even before then, do subscribe to this channel, like, share, and leave a comment.
Hi everyone, I'm Rita. I'm a teacher by profession. I'm also a mother, a friend, a sister, and
A million.
I'm a lover. Thank you so much, Victoria, for welcoming me here.
You're most welcome, Rita. You know, it's a joy to have you here.
I know.
Yeah. And I know this conversation is going to be hot.
Hotter.
Like no
The
man's
hottest.
business.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, because I know you're very passionate about what we are going to talk about. It's something we've discussed before, and so I'm really glad that we are here to have this conversation.
Thank you very much.
Are you ready?
Very ready. Let's start.
Okay, so karibu sana, Rita.
Thank you so much.
And thank you so much for honoring my invite.
It's my pleasure.
Yeah. So let's start this. Now, guys, as I said before, the conversation is about childhood trauma. And I think the first thing that we should be discussing is what really is childhood trauma. Before I explain to you what childhood trauma is, allow me to read something very small for you that I saw somewhere that I think will maybe give us some good direction on this conversation. Someone says, childhood was better when we all had wounds on our knees and foreheads, not inside our hearts and souls. And that's deep.
Very deep.
Yeah. So, what would you describe childhood trauma as?
For me, I would describe childhood trauma as events and experiences that a child goes through in their childhood that affects them later in life.
Yeah.
I
think that is so true. And especially the negative things that happen to children. And of course, children are traumatized not outside the places which are supposed to be the safe places for them, but rather they get happen ndani too, inside the homes, schools, among their friends. Those are the people who cause those very deep wounds to us. And I'm sure so many people can resonate with this conversation because I'm sure someone everywhere has a story to tell.
Definitely.
On the traumas they have experienced.
Sure.
Okay? So let's discuss the forms of childhood trauma.
Yeah.
And I think the very first one, I think I would like us to discuss abuse.
Yeah. And abuse can come in form of sexual abuse and also physical abuse.
Yeah.
And to be honest, sexual abuse is one of the things that is happening and no one talks about it. No one talks about it. But it is happening in the society.
It happens a lot. It happens a lot because I think most children can give a story. They can give a story of when maybe someone touched them inappropriately. Someone maybe just did something inappropriate sexually to them. And you realize that most of the people who do this, they happen to be family members, people we trust.
Yes, close people.
The good teachers.
I know. Sure.
Kwanza inatugonga sana sisi walimu.
Don't even talk about it. Yes.
But it happens anyway.
It happens.
I'm sure we have some good examples.
Yeah.
I did work in a school some time back where there was a teacher who wasn't very, very appropriate with kids. And I remember we would speak out and it turned out to be very nasty. Because when you talk about these things, people are like, don't discuss that. Unajua hizi vitu.
It's like a taboo.
It's a taboo. In fact, it's a taboo subject.
Yeah, talking about such
sexual
things.
abuse. And then I also noticed that children get abused by other children. Other children. Because children wanafikanga ile stage when they want to explore. It's more like curiosity. But they know very well in their hearts they are not ready to explore their sexuality, yet they are very curious. How does this work? What will happen if I try this one?
Why am I like this?
Yes.
Why am I told not to do this? You get it.
Kwanza ile wamekatazwa.
Yes.
Yeah, it happens a lot. So I think these are some of the things that happen, and I think parents, guardians, every person who is, of course, supposed to take care of children needs to take their job very seriously.
Sure.
Very seriously. Na watoto wakiongea wasikizwe.
Yes, let's talk physical abuse, whereby a child is punished, severely. Okay, it's not even punishment, you get it? Like you hit a child against the wall. Is that really punishment?
Of course, kuna zingine hapo nazo ni abuse.
That's abuse.
I'm sure kwanza sisi Africans, each person can give a story. Unatandikwa mpaka unashangaa kama hao ni wazazi wako.
Unalia hata unasema hurudi kwa hiyo nyumba tena. You want to go away. You get it?
You start wondering, are these my parents or was I adopted? Ama niliokotwa shwali, nini ilifanyika kwa maisha yangu? Yeah, but that one really traumatizes children a lot. A lot. And I'm sure everyone can really talk about some of the fears they experience because of the promise of beating.
Yeah. Sure.
So there is that.
Then again, we have another form of child trauma, and that is neglect. Is it neglect or neglect?
Neglect. When children are neglected.
Yeah, and that comes in the form of abandonment. You get it? Yeah, whereby parents go through their issues and they decide, maybe one parent decides to leave the kids with the other parent. And this kid does not experience the love and the support they would have wanted to experience from both parents. You get it? And so when these kids grow, they feel the gap. They feel it, they do. For sure. Yeah, I don't know what you'll say about that.
No, I feel that sometimes we can neglect our children even because of our work. Because I noticed, unajua niko na tu story tu. So I remember there is this lady, she happens to be a pastor. A woman of God, a very busy person. Huyo madam anaenda church kila jioni. Kila jioni they have a meeting sijui for I don't know what, a fellowship where they have just a number of activities. And Makiu, she has very small kids. Hawa watoto wa lower primary vitu kama hivyo. So anaacha wale watoto pale nyumbani. And then these kids, and Sundays, very held up. Saturdays preparing for Sunday, and Sunday leaving Sunday. You know, so they have a number of activities. And so you realize that watoto wa huyo madam, they never got to ever see her. It's a story that I was told by someone else. So, hao watoto wakateseka, wanakaa pale, hawajui mama yao yuko wapi, na mama tu yuko kanisani. Also, I think we need to like stand up even to our bosses and sometimes tell them that hapa na hapa haingiani vizuri. Because we also have some other activities that we need to be working on at home, especially taking care of our children.
Spending time with them.
It's very
crucial.
Someone said that children spell love as Time.
For sure. Get that, guys. It's true.
They spell love as time. So when you neglect them, gone. Okay? So the third thing that maybe can cause a trauma is alcoholism. Alcoholism. Kwanza pale mzazi analewa. Hii wazazi jamani.
Kulewa chakari.
Kabisa.
Was it like that?
Yes.
Kulewa chakari.
Kulewa chakari.
Oh, okay.
And then, let me tell you something about people who drink. You will have a very good conversation with this person in the evening. Fika asubuhi, hakumbuki ulisema nini.
Very true.
Just imagine your child comes to you, Dad, buy for me 1, 2, 3. I need this, a pencil, I need a pen, I need this for school. Asubuhi baba hakumbuki aliambiwa nini. Huyo mtoto anasikia aje?
Vibaya sana.
Of course
ama anaambiwa toka uende shule, wacha kunisumbua. You understand?
Oh, uelewi sina pesa. I
don't have money. And in their mind, they're like, but where do you get money to drink alcohol from? Yeah.
children really experience
a lot
hardship, especially dealing with. I think alcoholism is something that is in a lot of families. It's in a lot of families. Na kwanza wale wengi hata watoto hawawezi kueleza nini hasa ndiliwafanikia. Because you realize that maybe a parent will make promises they never fulfill. You always see them drunk, and so you realize that you are not their priority.
It's alcohol.
Yes. Alcohol is their priority. So that's
another thing that causes childhood trauma. We also have exploitation in form of child abuse. Kevin, so unaona hatuna lunch, so kama mnataka lunch tokeni, you go and do 1, 2, 3 things out there, and then you bring money so that you can buy food. Uzeni njugu. Alafu unajua uko ushago kama kwetu season ya kuvuna mahindi.
Unatumwa ukavune mahindi.
Hata utatumwa. Because of the problems you have at home.
By the way,
unajituma tu umeenda kutafuta mahindi. You're getting it. Alafu unapata pesa zako umeenda pale umekula kangumu kama packet moja. And you're okay because you know very well at home there's no food. So I'll just have to to do what it takes to get something for myself.
Yeah. It happens a lot. Some kids are even sent to quarries. To go and work there. And sometimes I think child abuse is never spoken of that much because I think we tend to imagine that it's a story that other people are telling and doesn't apply to.
It's just happening to other, people.
Yeah. But sometimes even giving kids jobs that they are not able to do. Well, you give them the siblings to raise them on your behalf.
Sure.
Wewe firstborn ni mtoto mkubwa. Akona miaka 7 lakini ndiye mzee kabisa hata kuliko baba yake. You are the grown up here. Wewe fanya kazi bwana. You are the adult here. Take care of your siblings. And then this child is yani unamuibia childhood yake.
Yeah.
Huyu mtoto hataruhusiwi
kucheza. It's sad. Yeah. Then we have bullying.
Bullying. Haki si kuna watoto wanatesa watoto wengine wa watu.
Sana. And you wonder why, I remember before you were talking about, when it comes to relationships, when someone is trying to form a relationship, anajiambia sasa mimi unajua hata the reason I'm not interested in dating is because when I was growing up, niliambiwa na mtoto fulani, you are ugly. And I told my mom or my dad of the same, and my mom was like, wewe ni mwanamume. You're supposed to be kaza, kuwa ngumu. Mwanamume ni kuwa ngumu. You're getting it.
Mwanaume akai hivyo.
And that is bullying.
Kia mama.
But then most kids are being bullied.
Yeah, kids do bully each other. Kids do bully each other.
From a tender age.
Yeah, they do bully each other.
And they grow with that. And they become of age and they feel like, because of that instance. So every person that I meet will definitely say I'm not worthy.
Of course, that one works. It takes a toll on their self-esteem.
Sure.
Because when someone picks on you every time, there's something that happens to you. You're like, I'm so defenseless. I'm so defenseless. There's nothing I can do. I cannot protect myself from this person. And of course, any other person in the future who comes and does something bad to you, you tend to take it.
Yeah.
Because it looks normal.
Lakini hiyo story ya kusema mwanamume ni kukaa ngumu, I don't think it's appropriate. Wavulana wanakipitia. Unakuja nyumbani, unaambia mom, today I'm very sad. Kwa nini? Nimeambiwa hivi na hivi na mtoto wa fulani. And mom is like, hey, kuwa ngumu. Hiyo si kitu. To them it's nothing. So cry. For them, you coming home with a wound. Ukona umegongwa hapa, damu inatoka ama magoti, hiyo sasa ndio wanaona ni something very serious. Wanaweza piga nduru village mzima. Mtoto fulani amemeza mtoto wangu, sitaki na sitaki kukuona umeenda huko siku nyingine.
Lakini the inner wounds, the wounds inside the soul are never seen. And they are, I think we really need to protect our children.
So much.
We need to protect our children.
And in the society we're living in right now.
Yeah. We really need to protect our children.
Yeah.
But I also think at the same time, there's also something else that I think of. Kuna kitu inaitwa childhood trauma ya ukweli, like what we are discussing here now. And two, there is where you think maybe you will traumatize your children and you end up neglecting them in the process. Like, for example, those parents who never discipline their kids. You assume that maybe by disciplining them, you're going to traumatize them.
Yeah, or make it worse.
Yeah, but in not disciplining them, you create something even worse than the trauma you are trying to avoid.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's
that
true.
one happens a lot. It also it happens a lot because the modern world is really acknowledging that trauma is real. But I also think we need to really manage our parenting properly.
Yeah. So now that we've known these forms of childhood trauma, how they come about, I think it's time we also discuss the behaviors. How do I know that this child is traumatized? How can you tell that a child is traumatized? Or even an adult?
Or even how do you know you yourself are traumatized?
I look at Victoria and I know, Victoria, I think Victoria experienced childhood trauma.
Akona trauma mahali. Yeah.
So how do we tell?
Yeah. I think the first thing is having a child who has trouble expressing their emotions and even managing the emotions. Expressing themselves, basically. A child is hurt, they will never talk about it. A child is disappointed, they will never talk about it. He or she is happy, amenyamaza tu. Or you will notice some extreme behaviors, especially anger. Unapata mtoto, yani hasira yake is
unamuuliza kitu. Yeah.
It's like
just
uncontrollable. And then you also notice the same in adults. They are not able to control their emotions. They are not able to control their and let me tell you something interesting, Rita. You know, I was reading somewhere. Sijui kama unasoma hivi vitabu vya huyu mtu anaitwa Samuel Sheldon.
Seriously? No.
Okay. So then she gave a story of one guy. They experienced sexual abuse when they were young. And these children, in their adulthood, they became the abusers.
Wow.
So I think another way of also telling that a child has experienced some trauma is by them becoming abusers.
Yeah.
Because naturally, there are some behaviors you should not have. There's some behaviors you should not have. Or rather, at least you should be in a position to control your emotions. You should be in a position to at least see the value of other human beings, know that other human beings have some dignity in them. But if you see someone who really looks as if they are detached from human dignity, basically, and so they have no limits in what they can do to another person, huyo msee anaweza kuwa na trauma.
You know why I'm laughing? I think you understand why I'm laughing. The way you said it, the way this person is treating another person, you can tell that they went through some trauma. And it reminds me of, you know, the episode. That's a story for another day. I'm sure we'll talk about it. For real. We have to talk about it. Just not today. But that's, Then we have, I think, trying so hard to fit. When a child is trying so hard to fit in a group of, you know, people or in a society, is because maybe they went through something and they're trying not to be associated with whatever they went through. You're getting? So mtoto nile anajaribu sana
akuwe mmoja
wenu. And in the process, you know, that is matters LGBTQ.
Actually, there is something there because you are trying to identify yourself with this.
Yes.
You're trying to identify yourself with
because
a certain group.
With this other group, I went through something. So let me try this other one. And you'll try so hard to it. Even if hata kama hufai kuwa hapo, unajipata tu. And you want to be like them. Unajua tu vizuri hawa watoto wanafanya mambo yao hivi. And because I did not experience a good childhood, ama because I experienced something very bad, wacha niende hapa hivi, you know,
maybe I'll get some consolation. I'll get maybe a family because maybe I was abandoned by mine.
And that is something parents need to watch out. They need to look out for such behaviors when a child is trying so hard to fit where they don't belong.
But I once met someone who would do literally anything to make friends with people. Na nikajiuliza, watu hata wanakutreat vibaya, wewe huoni? Huoni? These people are treating you so badly, but you're there, oh, I want to have friends. I think it is the high time we as adults maybe acknowledge that we could be having some wounds that we need to work on.
Yeah, it happens even among adults. Yeah. It's not just among children. Actually.
So another behavior of a traumatized child is negative attitude. Maybe they never experienced, or what do I call it? Validation. So anything they do, perhaps wanaambiwa ni makosa. Or maybe it is only their wrongs that were highlighted and never the good things they ever did.
Yeah. So they don't even see any good in themselves.
Yes, any good in themselves, and they project it to other people. Unajua kuna ile kitu tunaita projection.
Yeah.
Projection ni pale wewe una feel I am not good enough. And so you go telling other people they are not good enough.
Yeah.
That's how you feel about yourself, and so you assume that everyone should be feeling the same way. Yeah. It happens a lot. Hiyo sasa. I think that attitude thing could be okay. Of course, I mean, people could be having bad attitudes because of different things, past experiences and all, but also it could be running deeper than that.
Sure. Isolation.
Yeah.
A child decides to isolate themselves.
Yeah.
Simply because they don't see anything good in other people, because of the experiences they've had. So they prefer to be alone most of the times, to cry and to go through whatever they're going through alone, without even sharing with other people. Yeah.
That happens a lot.
Kama imekugusa?
I don't. Oh, okay.
But I'm not seeing you isolate yourself.
No, I don't isolate.
So I'm
myself.
assuming you're okay.
Yeah, I do not isolate
you didn't
myself.
Go through any.
But I think there's something that happens to a person maybe when other people keep telling you that you're not good enough. So you're like, why should I even join you?
Sure.
Or maybe something happened to you and you lost faith in humanity. Kitu kama sexual abuse, that one really works very negatively on people. Or sometimes they even become wanajitoa kabisa huko sasa. Unapata mtoto sasa amejitolea sasa, hiyo they are really fully there exploring all forms of sexuality.
Sure.
Yeah. Because they think that perhaps they are going to numb a wound that is in their souls, in their hearts.
I love this discussion.
Me too, thank you.
I think it's taking me back to my childhood days. Only that we can't speak about it, you know. But no, of course, we had some good experiences.
We can always speak about it. You can tell me a story.
We had some good. I'll tell you. You know, I will tell you that we share a lot.
Yeah.
So definitely, I'll give you one of my stories.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and then a child with low self-esteem. Not even a child, even adults with low self-esteem. Yeah.
Low self-esteem. Pale unajisikia kama hutoshi. Kila kitu unafanya unaona tu. But there are people you will meet and you will see that this person, it's like they are seeking too much validation. Akivalia nguo, do I look smart?
Anauliza kila mtu. Why unaona niko aje? Mbona usiniambia niko supu?
Okay.
They don't trust themselves.
Yeah, like
they don't.
Kuna ile confidence yenye msee anakuanga nayo.
Actually, confidence is the word I was looking for.
Confidence ile yenye inakuanga natural. Of course, you need to be appreciated once in a while by the people surrounding you. But then when it becomes so persistent that it's more like a basic need to you, then I think you need to look deeper.
Yeah,
there could be something. Maybe you lack that validation. Maybe from a very tender age.
That is the point. So Victoria, I think after the behaviors, you know, what are some of the effects of childhood trauma, especially now that we are adults? How does childhood trauma affect us, or the impact that it has on us as adults? Yeah,
I think one is depression. Najua kuna kitu kinaitwa chronic depression. Let me share something with you. Some years back, I used to feel ndani yangu, sijui nimekasirishwa na nini, sijui nimekasirishwa na nani, sijui nimefanywa nini, lakini nimekasirika.
Nimekasirika.
I cannot even trace. You know, like sometimes you sit like this and you wonder, ulifanywa nini? Like you are just angry. An angry person, easily triggered by things. And then I kept wondering, what could be the problem? What could be the problem? Of course, I don't even know what exactly happened, but I moved past that. But sijui about nyinyi, labda nilikuwa na trauma.
No, I think we need to sit down. I'm ready to give you a listening ear. I will definitely listen to all the stories. What brought about the anger issues that you had, and just being mad at everyone and at anything.
I used to be so angry. I used to be so angry. Mimi hata sijui nimekasirishwa na nini. Hivyo tu nasikia nimekasirika kabisa.
Utanipigia story. You have a lot to tell me.
Or maybe I need to go for therapy. I need to look for the source, the river and the source.
Sure. Then drug and alcohol misuse.
Yes.
A lot of people are indulging in drug and alcohol misuse because they are traumatized.
They are running away from their trauma.
Yes. And so drug and alcohol is becoming like their escape.
Yes.
They are finding some comfort there.
Yes.
You're getting it. Yeah, so
I'm sure most people can pick a story from among them.
Yes.
Even from our families.
Yeah.
Kiangalia msetu unaona huyu, this is escape. My friend, you are escaping from something. Kindly. Yeah, but I also think the reason why it's called trauma and not just some mere wound is because it really runs deep. And someone needs serious help. Yeah,
that's why it's trauma.
It takes a lot of strength for someone to actually acknowledge that I think I could be traumatized from somewhere. I could be having a deeper challenge than what I think I have. You see, I think it takes some levels of courage.
Sure.
Yeah. So drug and alcohol misuse, nimeona hiyo sana. In fact, there's even a story that was aired some years back of a mother. Alikuwa mtoto wake alijiua tu. Mama hajui kwa nini. Hajui kwa nini. She doesn't know why. So the boy just one day decides to hang himself outside the house.
Actually, that is one of the effects of trauma, of childhood trauma, suicide.
So ukiangalia huyo mtoto, ukimwangalia vizuri, this child could be having some deeper issues that they are maybe not able to express. And I think
and even the people around him don't notice.
Yeah. And they may notice, but I think when someone is traumatized,
they overlook.
When someone is traumatized, I think there's an aspect of fear. Fear. And hiyo fear inakufanyaga ufeel, I cannot confide in this person. Perhaps they will not understand the depth of the pain I'm feeling.
Because maybe I have tried once. They could have tried once to express, and they are told again, kaa ngumu. It happens. Even though life iko.
Ndivyo life iko. It's nothing personal. Everyone is going through the same thing. Imagine you have to be strong. But I think there's a limit to strength. There's a limit to strength.
I agree.
There's a limit to strength. So I also think that people need to be speaking to the right people. Because when you come and speak to just some random person, huyu msee anaweza hata kukutangaza kila mahali. And I think it doesn't help for you to talk about people who shared their traumatic stories with you. Because this person even shelves deeper into themselves even more. Anajaribu kujiprotect. Na sasa anajifunika hata zaidi.
Kabisa.
So I think there is something about sharing with the right people.
Yeah.
It is good to also know the right people to share with.
Yeah.
So I think there is also something about having relationship difficulties. Could be another effect of childhood trauma. What about that?
You don't just relate well with people. You are getting friends, even workmates, even
neighbors.
Yeah.
But unacheka sasa. No, you've never had a difficult neighbor.
Yeah, we are there.
You've never had a difficult neighbor.
We are there.
Wewe unajua kuna ule msee mwenyewe what would you say? You basically can never live with them.
Yeah.
They are picking on you for no good reason.
Everything.
Okay, I think that's just one of the things. They just basically have
even intimate relationships.
True.
You cannot just. Sometimes you wonder, this person has keeps bringing different kinds of women or men.
Yeah.
And they're not just settling. What is happening? There's something. There has to be something. And if you dig deeper, utapata, this person was traumatized. Either the lady who is coming in, or maybe the person who is the man.
Yeah.
You're getting, and they experienced something in their childhood. Maybe they witnessed. Remember again, you can witness something, and it traumatizes you, and you're like, oh man. Is this what a relationship is all about?
Let me tell you something.
Then I think I'm not going to settle.
I'm thinking,
for one.
when you're speaking, I'm thinking about families where parents are always at loggerheads. Your children want to find solace, but there is no peace in your house. Unajua na imagine ile nyumba yenye watu wanateta kila siku.
Asubuhi,
usiku, mchana. What that one means? Number one, you're interfering even with the personal space of your child. Because this child has nowhere else to go. Sindio?
They consider that as their home.
This is their home. This is their home.
Yeah.
You guys are here every day fighting like cats and dogs. Hakuna amani. Huyu mtoto hana space anaweza enda. Hata akiwa bedroom yake bado mnataka mpaka anasikia. Mpaka mnapigana. This kid, number one, fears for their security. They fear for the parents' security because there's something about a child that mtoto tu anakuanga connected na mzazi kabisa. So if you look like you could be posing some danger or some harm towards any of the parents, this child feels defenseless. Hana la kufanya. I do not know what that one does to people in adulthood, but I think kuna kitu inafanya.
Yeah, especially when it comes to relationships.
Yes, when it comes to relationships. Number one, this child could become an abuser. This child could become an enabler of abuse because that's their norm. That's their norm.
They have nowhere else to go.
So whatever you do, they're fine with it. That one will really work very negatively on this child. So I think if there's something that we need to be doing on a very serious note, is ensuring that our houses are safe.
Very.
You can have a conversation, you parents. And I mean, kama mpendani mnaweza achana pia.
That's not for you to decide. Come on.
Okay, so of course, I'm not the one to decide, but I don't see any need of people anyway, living together and fighting every day.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Or maybe if you've chosen to live together, you can find a way to solve your problems.
Sure.
Find a way to solve your problems without interfering with the life of the child. You can have a discussion. You can go out somewhere, sit down, have a conversation, maybe go for family therapy or something. Just do something. Please make it safe for everyone. Yeah. And so finally, let's talk about how now to fix the childhood trauma. What can you do?
An early age or as adults?
I think in any stage of life, because I think even when children are young, at some point in life, maybe someone may realize, I think this child is traumatized to some level. Even maybe the parents. Because maybe the parent could be the one who took you, who maybe made you go through that.
Sure.
But people change their minds.
Mtu
siku moja anaamka anajiangalia anasema mimi kama mzazi sioni kama nafanya fiti hapa. So I think I need to maybe make my home a better place. So I think maybe the parent will also realize they didn't do well and they want to maybe seek help for the child.
Sure. So I think number one thing to do to fix childhood trauma is to seek support. Seek therapy. Talk to someone, and not just anyone, someone that you trust. Someone that is going to take you through the journey. I think it's not easy for anyone to talk about what they are going through or what they went through as kids. So therapy helps. Therapy helps.
I think I would suggest for someone to go to a qualified counselor. A qualified counselor. The reason why I'm saying that ni kwa sababu nimeona unagundua mtu kwa sababu yeye maybe I happen to be a teacher. Sindio? So for some reason, I assume that I can do counseling.
Sure.
But it is not true.
But they say teachers are counselors. Come on.
It is true, teachers are counselors.
You're not a counselor. I'm starting to doubt your qualifications, Victoria.
But you see,
okay,
it's like when I'm covering the syllabus, everyone can say that, you know what, I can teach. But I know very well, as a person who practices this profession, I know how I'm supposed to break down my points to fit the needs of my learners.
Sure.
You see? So as someone who is already experienced in the field of counseling, I think this person is in a better place to walk you through the journey from the very beginning and to see the results at the end.
The progress.
So I really suggest that you go to someone who is qualified for the job. Na kwanza watu waache kupeleka watoto wao kwa watu reja. Mtu unapeleka mtoto kwa pastor anaanza kumtoa mashetani. You've never seen children. No, I'm very serious.
Na kusema kweli, they don't want even to go back there.
Yeah.
Mara ya pili.
Mtoto ameenda pale.
That is very true.
Mtoto ameenda pale. She's so traumatized. Maybe the pain that they are going through inamfanya maybe hata mtoto ananyamaza tu. Mzazi sasa anafikiria mtoto ako possessed. Sasa mtoto anahitaji counseling. Umempeleka kwa pastor aende akatolewe shetani. Mtoto anaenda kule.
In fact, you are adding more pain to this child.
In fact, you are adding, you are increasing the trauma.
You are traumatizing them even more.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I think that one needs to be checked on.
Yeah. Acknowledge and recognize the trauma. Yeah. You as a person, acknowledge it and accept the fact that you are going through this. And by doing so, then it will be very easy for you now to seek support. You're getting, because if you cannot just go there and tell someone, hey, I'm traumatized. You know, first acknowledge, accept it, then seek support.
Very important. Very important.
Don't shy away from it. Don't run away from it.
I also think on the same point of acknowledging your pain, I think so many of us were taught that trauma is a taboo subject. It's a taboo subject that you cannot afford to say that. How dare you speak in such a way about your upbringing? You know, when you speak like that, that means that you're discrediting the efforts of the people who brought you up.
Sure.
You are speaking ill of your parents. You're speaking ill of your pastors. You're speaking ill of your church. You're speaking ill of your teachers. You see, but sometimes when you acknowledge that you felt some pain, I think that is the point in which we are going to start changing the world and changing ourselves and building
that it's okay even to feel the way you are feeling.
Exactly.
It's very much okay.
It's okay to feel pain. Yeah. It's okay to feel pain. It's okay to acknowledge that someone hurt me.
It's okay not to be okay.
That's the word.
Yeah.
And finally,
be patient. You have to be patient with the process.
Yeah.
Be patient.
It takes time.
It takes time.
It takes time. It takes a lot of support from your family, from your friends, from even, let's say, for example, when the place you go to worship. It takes time. And people need to be patient. We need to be patient with the entire process. We need to accept that we'll just not wake up tomorrow and find ourselves having healed. Yeah. It's good for us to acknowledge that. And I think the final thing that I would like to say is that maybe the people that surround us give us more therapy than even the counselor who, you go to the counselor for a fixed session. But then there are people who see you every day. Those are the people who will shield you. Those are the people who will tell you it's okay. It's a journey. We are with you. We are standing with you. You see? So I think family support, especially when you realize that someone is going through some trauma of sorts, is very important. What do you think you can add?
This has been a very insightful topic for me.
Yeah.
I've learned a lot from the discussion. And it is even leaving me with the thought of, I think I should also sit down and nianze kufikiria some of the behaviors I'm exhibiting, and ask myself, is it because this happened? But I won't be so hard on myself.
Of course.
I'm just going to take it easy. If it's something that will need therapy, of course, I'll first, I think I need to talk to my God. And of course, if anything comes up, I'll seek your support.
I'm always here to support you.
Thank you so much,
Yeah, I'm always
Victoria.
here
And
to support
also, from our viewers, I think we can tell them that it's okay not to be okay. If at all you resonated with whatever we are discussing here, just take your time, acknowledge, accept, and then seek support if need be.
Yeah.
That's all I can say, Victoria.
Thank you so much, Rita. And thank you for being
a wonderful guest.
Exactly.
Oh, God.
A wonderful guest. You've been so good. This conversation was so beautiful.
Yeah.
We engaged so well.
Yeah.
We've talked about all the things that we plan to talk about.
Yeah.
And I feel so refreshed from this conversation.
Me too.
And I hope that you, our viewers, also learned something from this conversation. And kindly, if you realize that you could be having a challenge of sorts, it is okay to seek support, to seek assistance from the people around you. And you too, if you realize that you could be traumatizing the people who are around you, it's okay to also change your mind.
Yeah, it's not late.
Yeah. It's not late. Don't beat yourself too hard. Sema mimi nilifanya hivi, so now I'm being I should be thrown to hell or something. It's okay to restart.
Sure.
That is why we had this conversation, in the hope that both me and you are going to live a better life from today henceforth. Now, if you like this conversation, as usual, share with your friends and subscribe to this channel as well. And leave your comment. Share your story down there. I would love to hear your stories. Yeah. See you next time. And from me, it's bye-bye and God bless you.
Bye.